Hey, what is up, guys? It's MegGamesGX here, and we are back on another beautiful Monday. I'm just going to be yapping about Branded. I did recently go to a remote regional under the new time rules, so I kind of wanted to discuss that, and then also the future of Branded, since we have Doom of Dimensions coming out, which will actually help the Branded Dracoile build do very well. And then also tomorrow we are going to be featuring a first place regional deck list for branded Dracoile in particular. So make sure to leave a like and comment down below if you want to see that. But one of our Discord members ended up getting first place at their 7-round regional, which is quite impressive in my opinion. So I did want to talk about that, and then also maybe get into what we could be taking lessons from this format, because I don't think it's any surprise I haven't been doing too well in the events that I've been participating in. And I think that's for a few different reasons. Not here to make any excuses about me or the deck, but I also do think that Branded Dracoile is still fine. It is still good. I think it's one of the tougher, if not one of the toughest decks in the whole format to even pilot correctly. So I wanted to talk about all these things in hopefully under 10 minutes. So yeah, guys, let's try to knock them out while I make my new build. So with the new time rules, I actually think they benefit Branded for the most part. I do think, like, yeah, 50 minutes, you could get into really long grind games and then it could really hurt you. But I think for the most part, most games are going to be finished within those 50 minutes, if not 55, if you're playing a remote regional, which I've been doing recently, as you guys know. So yeah, 55 minutes for a round I think is pretty good for Branded. You have enough time to board break in that instance, and I think that you shouldn't probably be going to time in those scenarios. Now, why do I think I haven't been performing? Because I think I've been running the 60 card build, and before, and I was trying out a lot of different, like, it took me a regional to realize we had to run Despia and Quertus in our extra deck, because this just comes up in a lot of matchups right now, and then also some other, like, just deck building staples that just I had to feel out from actually putting this deck through a tournament. And as you guys know, I basically win every single locals I go to with this deck. It's very good at 60 cards. I just think 60 cards is quite inconsistent for a tournament over 4 rounds. So that's why I'm going to be going down to 50 to 45 cards in the future, and that's what I'm doing right here with this list. And as a preview for the regional list is a 46 card build. So it is Branded Dracoile, like I mentioned, and they're actually kind of similar ratios to what I run, except it's just 46 cards. And the difference between running 46 cards and 60 is you just have a higher propensity of drawing your power spells, right? You will see Branded Fusion in your opening hand more. You will see Thrust in your opening hand more. I think, like, what the thing is with 60 is you get so many weird hands because you have so many different cards that can run the variable and give you a hand that's just awkward, whereas in 46 cards there's just less room for, like, you drawing, like, hands of, like, Quem, like, Thrust, and, like, no other basically starters. Essentially, like, in 46 cards I'm, like, basically always getting away to Branded Fusion, an Extender, a way to play through a hand trap, and then also a Dracoile card, which was my issue with the 60 card build as well, because sometimes I'd just be playing Dracoile or Branded. I think that at a 46 card build I should be seeing both engines quite consistently, so that's why I do want to go down there, and I'm hoping that will improve my performance, because I don't want to give up on Branded Dracoile. I also think that it's a tough deck to play, so, right, like, I could just take the easy train and play regular Dracoile, but I think regular Dracoile loses the mirror match a lot of the time to random bullshit, and then also Dracoile doesn't have as good of a matchup into some of the meta decks, in my opinion. I think Dracoile is very good into Rogue, and then once you get to Top Cut, pure Dracoile, aka K9 Dracoile, really ends up losing to the Vanquish Soul matchup in the Yummy because of Ripper, and then Yummy has Herald, right? Like, if you aren't able to keep them off Herald, you lose as a Dracoile player, which is not a good situation to be in. Now, I think they usually get or stop the Yummy players from getting to Herald, but that's why I do like the Branded version. It just has a higher ceiling, higher room to grind, which I think is important. And then I think I've just been going around wrong running 60. I just think it's not consistent enough in the TCG. I've always bricked running 60, but at a local level it's always been very consistent for me, so I've always, like, still stuck with it. But I think when I'm going to a regional, when I'm looking for my best chances to win a regional or top a YCS, right, I think that running a build below 52 cards is definitely the play for Branded. I'd say running something, I think 52 cards should probably be our maximum right now. But this build that we're going to release tomorrow, it's 46 cards. It's running like Super Poly too, and he didn't even say that Super Poly was that good. So I have been actually testing out in the main deck because I've noticed that I don't think Super Poly is very good until Doom of Dimension comes out in a few weeks, because then we get the Psychic Axon kicker, which is the new Super Poly target for Vanquish Soul and other like Kashtira Psychic boards essentially, and it's pretty good into the Vanquish Soul matchup. I do think Super Poly becomes probably pretty broken at that point, but at this point, I am choosing to run things like Dark Ruler no more and Evenly Matched in the main deck. I think these are the two best board breakers in Branded for the most part. I think that Evenly can solo boards on its own, especially in the main deck, because people just aren't ending on an Omni Negate nor a Trap Negate, right? Like, Dracoile can't get rid of it, can't stop it. VSK9 can't stop Evenly Matched, and then Yummy can, but like it gets rid of their Herald at the very least, right? And also you can bait it by going Dark Ruler and doing your thing there. So I think that these two cards pair very well together, and it's either these or Super Poly for sure. Like, he won this regional with Super Poly, so I do think that Super Poly is still quite viable. But at the end of the day, you are able to break the boards mostly with Ketu, Dracoile, and Thrust going second a lot of the time. So, you know, he was running 3 of Ketu. I'm going to go back to that. I think that running, just like being able to see a branded card, a Dracoile card, and then a way to play through hand traps is just such a good way to play this deck right now. I think that, you know, there is a lot Ash and Mulcharmy, but, you know, when you run things like the Ido, it makes your matchup into time, into hand traps very easy a lot of the time if you can connect the Ido. Like, he was also running the Ido. I do just think this card is way too good not to run right now, this format. I think that if you are trying to do well with Branded, you unfortunately probably have to run the Ido on some level, or else you're going to be losing to time, getting into unnecessary grind games, and more importantly, you're going to get crushed to Dracoile just going first action Rahu when you don't have a branded Retribution set because you had to banish it to get to your branded fusion. That's also another thing right now. Watch out for Ghost Bell at the moment. There is so much Ghost Bell in the format, or even DD Crow on the edges with VS players, that you getting branded fusion from the graveyard and doing your high spirit line sometimes just isn't worth it if you can lose to a Ghost Bell. Like, because a lot of the time, you guys know I love going high spirits to play through and around Ash, because I can go high spirits instead of going for the branded fusion with a Luber if I have a dragon in hand, because then I can go high spirits, search the high spirits, use high spirits, and Albaz plus high spirits plus you know, an Albion or a Titaniclad to the graveyard, and then get the kit, which then gets me the branded fusion. And, you know, if I've already imperm checked on the Aluber or I have a Cartesia, you know, I know that this goes through foolproof. There's no max C, so this plays around that. It just plays into Perulia, which no one's keeping in Perulia against branded if you know what you're doing. So this really does help you play through Ash in that regard, because then if they Ash me, then I have at least the Titanclad or the Albion. So it's one of my favorite plays. It's why I will never cut kit, especially for the grind game, because it gets you back branded fusion from your banishment and stuff like that, which comes up a lot in a fusion dupe build like I'm running. I think this card is the best side deck card in my whole deck by far. So we'll talk about that a little bit, but you know, you have to play around Ghost Bell, though, because this can get Ghost Belled, and then also your Retribution can get Ghost Belled, so you just have to be careful on that. If you can lose to Ghost Spell and just go for a Luber, search Branded Fusion, do your thing. But I do think that the future of Branded's bright, because now if you have this type of hand, you can go Branded Fusion with a Luber, send Albaz to the graveyard, and then also you can send the new Dracoile Light Monster, Dracoile Prixel. It basically is a light spellcaster. That's all you need to know. The other effect is not relevant. It just, when it's sent to the graveyard as a fusion material, you get to set a Dracoile spell or trap. So this means that you no longer have to discard a card off of Lubellion by going into Malulu in order to connect the Dracoile engine with Brandon. This makes Branded Fusion a true one-card combo with the Dracoile cards. I mean, obviously you need the discard then for whatever you're going to be searching, but if you have Branded Fusion, you can obviously just go set Ketu off the Prixel, and then you will be able to just go Ketu, normal Lucius, and Lucius effect, go Phimina effect, do your thing, right? You still need one discard in that case for the Dracoile engine, but you've always needed that, right? So it is basically a one-card combo with Branded Fusion because of the new Light Spellcaster Dracoile name. So we're going to be running that at 1 in the new build. It also opens up new avenues for maybe even running Shaddoll Construct, because there are, you know, plays with certain combos with that card and Shaddolls that kind of actually end up being pretty good. We can maybe even run App Cologne, but I do think that the Ido is still just the best play in our deck for the most part, going first. fast. And now that the time rules are gone, I think that Ido, I'm going to be siding, or I'm going to be maining this at all times, going first, going second. Now that I don't have the Masquerade, I'm not going to be siding Masquerade right now. If you guys saw my video before, I have a video on my channel where I talked about the time rules and how they affect Branded. Highly recommend go checking it out if you haven't already. But this, you know, TLDR, basically, we aren't running Masquerade anymore unless you want a way to kill your opponent going second, and you can't, like, OTK them, so you make Masquerade and make them kill themselves. Ido, for the most part, does the same thing, right? So I can just keep an Ido and then lock them going second if I can't OTK them, and then I win. It's like what you would do with Gimmick Puppet, but this is even better because my opponent can't even special summon until I go Battle Phase, right? Which allows you to set up a board that can play through whatever they have in their hand, and you can also go Battle Phase to play around Femina with this. It's actually better than Gimmick Puppet Nightmare in a lot of different situations. This format in particular, like, if Gimmick Puppet Nightmare was legal right now, I would be running Ido over Gimmick Puppet Nightmare in my main deck because of Dracoile and because of Vanquish Soul, which have hand effects that can still play on my turn, right? If we had, you know, Gimmick Puppet, we would be losing immediately, right? Because of Femina and then, you know, fucking Halisu and stuff like that. They can augment their hands to play through the lock, but with Ido, it makes it a lot harder. So, you know, for all those reasons, I am running it. And then Fusion Dupe, I do think it should be mandatory. If you're looking for going first sides, like the regional list had 2 Nadir in the side, and we'll talk about that. I'll ask him in the deck profile because we're gonna have a long interview about it, so you guys can see that. It's gonna be the next Branded cast, of course, but he was running 2 Nadir plus 1 Fusion Dupe in the side, and to me, you should be running 3 Fusion Dupe in the side at all time, or 2 or 3, right? You can main the 1 Fusion Dupe, but I think a lot of players have been opting to main the Dracoile Flame on top of the Retribution as your only traps in Branded, so you can cut down on the bricking, and then you can side the Fusion Dupe or even the Horn, and you know, I think you can side 3 Fusion Dupe. I think Fusion Dupe is overall your best going first card in Branded because of Thrust connecting it to get you to Branded Fusion, or just having like a Sarnier Shrouded discard into Branded Fusion. There's a lot of ways to connect Branded Fusion into the graveyard to make Fusion Duplication live, so I do think it still remains to be our best going first card. And, you know, Branded did very well at the beginning of this format. Don't get it wrong. We got 4 tops in the first 2 weeks, and now we just got another first place regional. I think it has borne out when Branded Despia has not topped this whole format. I know, you know, shout out to my man Branded Dude. I love the Branded Dude. We're gonna have him on the channel soon. We're gonna talk about this, but I 100% disagree that Branded Despia is better than Branded Dracoile at this point. I do think that the numbers have just borne out. We have 5 tops with Branded Dracoile, 0 tops with Branded Despia. So it is what it is, guys. I think that a lot of people are just, you know, I want to put the onus on the players, but are giving up on the deck because it's a tougher deck, and that's okay, right? You can go play Dracoile, you can go play VSK9 if you want to have an easier deck, but I'm here to play Branded because I love the deck, I love how it interacts, I love to play my favorite deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! As long as I can, and it's still, you know, competitively viable, especially because of the Dracoile cards now. But even before then, you guys saw, you know, other players being able to do pretty well with Branded even without that. But either way, you know, don't give up on Branded just because the deck is tough, in my opinion, or these new time rules. We have to play faster. And then also, you just have to learn the sequencing with this deck. You have to play it a lot. You can't just, like, expect that it's the same thing as Branded because it is a different deck of the Branded Dracoile version. But that's why I love this first place regional list, because it's very much, like, in the same vein as the ideas we've been coming up with. But my man just perfected it, making that 46 card build. So we are going to be showing that off tomorrow. I just wanted to yap about Branded a little bit about video. Nothing too crazy today, guys. Make sure to leave a like down below. Of course, we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Been feeling slightly burned out on content if you guys didn't notice, so I'm going to try to take it a little bit easier with things. The ban list should be dropping any day now. Like, if you're watching this video a week from now, the ban list will probably be out. It's been almost 6 months, right? So look out for the ban list stream. If it's before then, we are going to be live streaming the moment the ban list drops. So make sure to join to type in mygamesgx.com or on YouTube, and then you'll be able to watch it, obviously, and join in on the party. We'll have, you know, a bunch of great duelists on to discuss the meta and everything. So yeah, guys, I do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it, guys. Like, thank you all. This is like the dream of my life, having a YouTube, being able to come on, discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! Then also you guys are able, like, it's crazy, honestly, what you guys enable for me. So I do appreciate that and the opportunities that present there. So thank you guys all for watching the video, being a fan, subscribing, all that fun stuff. You know, this year is going to be great, guys. You know, we're going to end 2025 strong, and then 2026 is going to be our best year. So 100% guys, thank you very much for the support, and we will be seeing you guys later. Have a great day. Also, go Bills, go Bills, go Bills.